So actually, in the last like uh, introduction of our second chapter. Second chapter is variational principle. Okay. So in this chapter, we are going to study maxima and minima of the function. Correct. So in this chapter, first we have studied if 2 points P and Q are given to us, that means say a particle is moving from position P to some another position Q. So how to find out the distance between them is first we will find out the distance between any two neighboring points. Say the two neighboring points are xy, x plus dx, y plus dy. Right. So with the help of this, we are going to find out the distance formula. Distance formula is given by ds is equal to under root of dx square plus dy square. Correct. Because x plus dx minus x, it will be simply dx. Y plus dy minus y, that will be simply dy square. And the resultant we are getting by using the our distance formula, we get the length of the path followed from point P to Q is ds. So which is equal to, after some simplification, we have got the value of this as 1 plus y dash square dx is nothing but our function. So in general, we can write this function as integration I is equal to, say, from point P to Q in x, y dash dx. Correct. If you are taking dy common, what will be the resultant? If you take dy common, we will have the equation is 1 plus x dash square dy. Correct? Is anyone having a doubt related to this?
No, ma'am.
So instead of taking dx common, we can take a dy common and we can solve the equations. Okay. So we are going to solve these kind of equation in our whole chapter, right? What is the equation? This integration value is nothing but from point P to Q. And what is a function f? It is a sum function of x, y dash. Here you can see this is some function of y dash. So we can now generalize this function, whatever the inside the integration we have, it will be some function of x, y, and y dash. Correct. In the next, we have seen basic lemma of calculus of variation. Okay, what was our statement? Actually, the statement was I have written. Okay, what was our statement? There are 2 points x1 and x2 such that they are two fixed point. X1 is less than x2 in such a way that mm, g of x is a particular function in the interval. Okay, g of x is a particular function which is given in the interval. Say x belongs to x1 to x2. Right. Next, what is given to us? Value of the integration x1 to x2 gx eta of x is equals to 0 identically in the interval, and we have the function eta of x is provided to us in such a way that the value of eta of the function at the end point, that is at point x1 and x2, it is equal to 0. What is our aim to prove that? Then prove that. What is our aim to prove? G of x is equal to 0. Is it okay? What is given to us? Firstly, if x1 and x2 are such that x1 is less than x2 are the two fixed point and g of x is a function in the interval x1 to x2, and we are provided that the value of integration x1 to x2 g of x eta of x dx, value of this integration eta of x gx dx equal to 0. And what is a condition given to us? We have to choose eta in such a way that eta of x1 is equal to eta of x2 is 0, and then we have to prove that g of x is equal to 0. Right. So for that, let me start the proof. For the starting of proof, if I want to prove that g of x is 0, let us take a contradiction. That is, we will assume that g of x is greater than 0 for some point. Okay, from that interval, at a point x dash, the value of g of x is greater than 0. Okay, because we are provided that g of x is in the g of x is one particular function given in the interval x1 to x2. From x1 to x2, That means x dash is a point from x1 to x2. That means this is the interval provided to us. From this interval x1 to x2, we have a point x dash. In that, the value of a g of x is 0. Sorry, greater than 0. So we can say this is g of x dash is greater than 0. Right? What is our aim to prove? G of x is equal to 0 for all points of our interval. Okay. For all x belongs to x1 to x2. Okay, and that's why we are assuming that, let us assume contradiction that g of x dash is greater than 0. For at least one point, we are assuming that it is greater than 0. Is it okay with this?
Yes, ma'am.
Or unless otherwise, you can assume that g of x dash is not equal to 0 for x dash belongs to this interval. Okay. आपल्याला प्रूव्ह काय करायचं आहे, जी ऑफ एक्स हे इक्वल टू 0 आहे, राईट. फॉर दॅट वी विल अज्युम दॅट जी ऑफ एक्स डॅश इज नॉट इक्वल टू 0 फॉर at least one point. And not equal to 0 means what? Either it should be greater than 0 or less than 0. So we'll go for the case of a greater than 0, right? So as we are provided that g of x is a continuous function, or rather particular continuous function in the interval x1 to x2. So it means that obviously g of x is a continuous function at a point x equal to x dash, right? If it is continuous in whole interval x1 to x2, so obviously it will be continuous at a point x dash, right? So let us select a neighborhood in around the x dash. Okay, let me draw this. What is given to us actually? First we have the 2 points, say this is what x1, and here is another point, say x2. In between that we are finding a point x dash. At which we are going to discuss the thing. We are assuming that at a point x dash the value of g of x is greater than 0. This is contradiction assumption, no? Because our aim to prove is g of x is equal to 0, right? So we will assume that there exists some neighborhood. What is the neighborhood for x dash? Let us select this is x1 dash, and here it is x2 dash. So this is what a neighborhood for x dash, right? So now we will construct a function, that is our equation whatever provided to us, x1 to x2 g of x eta of x dx is equal to 0. This is given to us now. What is given to us? G of x eta of x is equal to 0 for any choice of a function eta of x. दिलेला आहे ना आपल्याला, integration of x1 to x2 g of x, integration of a g of x eta of x is equal to 0 for any choice of eta of x. Okay, they are provided that for any choice of eta of x. So that's why we can define eta of x, because they are told us in the given function that eta of x is can be taken any value. So hence we can take the value of eta of x is equal to 0 for the interval say x1 to x1 dash, correct? So I will say the value of x, if it is lying between this x1 to x2 dash, x1 to x1 dash, the value of eta of x we will assume it is to be 0. The value of eta of x will assume to be 0 in this x1 to x1 dash. Okay, because it is provided that eta of x is any function. So for that we will select the next one as x minus x1 dash, it's a square, x minus x2 dash square, and this is true for the interval. Say next interval we will select is x1 dash to x2 dash, correct? Next we will choose the next interval, say here again we will say it is equal to 0, because we can select the value of eta of x as a anything. So hence now we will select x2 dash to x2. This is our next interval, correct? So what is given to us? Integration value g of x eta of x is 0 from x1 to x2 for any choice of eta of x. As they are provided for any choice of eta of x, hence we are selecting eta to be in such a way that we can come to the proof. Okay. Now after the completion of proof, you will understand why eta of x is chosen like this. Okay. So above equation can be written as, what is our above equation? This, the given equation now I can write in this form. Because as the values of eta of x we have splitted, so we can split the integration now. So now for first one, we have the integration is from x1 to x1 dash. What is g of x in this case? It is some function g of x into eta of x, okay, dx, plus what is the next interval, x1 dash to x2 dash, and what is the function given here, x minus x1 dash square, x minus x2 dash square, and g of x is a function as it is, dx, plus next what is given to us, x2 dash to x2, g of x, okay, eta of x equal to 0. Simply the above equation I have written in the form of a splitted interval. The whole interval from x1 to x2 I have split it into three parts, x1 to x1 dash, x1 dash to x2 dash, x2 dash to x2. Okay. Now, but actually value of eta of x is 0 here as well as in the third term. So what we remains with only, we remains with the simply x1 dash to x2 dash, g of x minus x1 dash square, x minus x2 dash square, sorry, here it should be square to this term, okay, whole bracket is square, so which is what is given to us, actually it is equal to 0. This is our equation, whatever we have above equation, we have written that equation as it is. हे दिलेला equation होता ना. Let me rename this equation as some equation number 1. And from equation 1, we have come to our equation by splitting, and then we have arrived to this equation. Correct? Now, can anyone tell me what is the value of this squares? Obviously, the value of these squares will be greater than 0. ना? बरोबर है ना?
Yes, ma'am.
Because as we know that value of a squaring term is always positive, no? Square always positive also, right? So x minus x1 dash, x minus x2 dash both are greater than 0. So now we can assume that if this is greater than 0, obviously this g of x, combining all this, the value of the integration say x1 dash to x2 dash g of x minus x1 dash square, x minus x2 dash square will also be greater than 0, correct? Is it okay? Because whatever the terms we are collecting, they are greater than 0, since we are having the assumption that g of x is greater than 0 as at a point. इथे आपण select करा ना, g of x dash is greater than 0. What is x dash? X dash is a some point in the interval x1 to x2. x1 to x2 मधला एक point है ना x dash. So in the interval x1 to x2, we have the point on which g of x is greater than 0. हे दोन्ही टर्म ग्रेटर दॅन 0 आहेत, स्क्वेअर आहे, जी ऑफ एक्स हे फंक्शन आहे ते x1 डॅश टू x2 डॅश मध्ये ऑब्विसली ग्रेटर दॅन 0 आहे, कारण की x डॅश कुठे बिलॉंग करतो, x1 डॅश टू x2 डॅश. इज इट ओके? जी ऑफ एक्स इज ग्रेटर दॅन 0 assumptions आहे, आणि हे दोन्ही टर्म ग्रेटर दॅन 0 आहेत. So resultant term will be obviously greater than 0. So now can arrive to the contradiction. What is the contradiction? Where the contradiction arises? Because what is the given thing to us? x1 to x2 g of x eta of x is equal to 0. A given hai na from equation 1. This is our equation number 1 na. That is, we are provided that value of the integration g of x eta of x gx is equal to 0. But here we are getting some point that is in the interval x1 dash to x2 dash, it is greater than 0. This is not possible now. When your value of the integration in whole interval is equal to 0, now we are saying that in the interval x1 dash to x2 dash, the value of integration is greater than 0. So which is not possible because it is contradiction to our given things. Okay, जे दिलेला त्याला contradiction आला ना इथे. Value of the integration in the provided interval x1 dash to x2 dash. Actually, we have, you can understand from this figure, but there is x1 dash, x2 dash. So this is a point x dash we have selected in between x1 to x2, and this is the interval x1 dash x1 to x1 dash, and in this interval we have defined the squaring terms, right? And in this interval value of eta of x is again 0. So if from given things we have the value of the integration is equal to 0, but here we are getting the value of integration is greater than 0. So this contradiction arises due to the wrong assumption. What was our wrong assumption? G of x
G
is
of
greater
x greater than 0.
at a point x equal to x dash. So what should be the right assumption? G of x should be equal to 0 at a point x equal to x dash. Okay. X dash we have selected a point from x1 to x2. So initially we have to prove that g of x is identically equal to 0, means that g of x we have to prove it is equal to 0 in whole interval. But we have selected at least one point at which the value of g of x is greater than 0. But now as it is contradiction to our assumption, this arises due to the wrong assumption that g of x is greater than 0. So this is wrong assumption, hence what should be the right assumption? G of x is equal to 0. Is there any doubt for this?
No, ma'am.
If not, let us go for the next one, that is Euler's Lagrange's theorem. Euler Lagrange's theorem. First, you read the things whatever given to us. We are provided value of integration is equal to 0, and eta of x is a function in such a way that eta of x1, eta of x2 is equal to 0. What is our aim to prove? G of x is 0. For that, we have assumed that at least there exists a one point for which the value of g of x is g of x is greater than 0. And hence, with the help of that, we have arrived to our equation 1, which is given equation. And then we have split the interval. After splitting the interval, we have constructed a function in such a way that we come to the contradiction, right? So here we have constructed a function such that these two values will be greater than 0. Now, squaring is always positive number. G of x हे आपण assume केलं होतं ना, G of x is greater than 0 in the interval x1 dash to x2 dash. So the resultant term hold this term will be greater than 0, but value of this integration is equal to 0 in the whole interval x1 to x2, and hence the result. Now let us go for the Euler's Lagrange's theorem. Actually, this Euler Lagrange's theorem we are going to study 6 times in this chapter. In this chapter, we will study this theorem for 6 times with different condition. First, with some different condition, then we'll go for generalization. Then we improve some isometric problems. Then we'll go for generalization. Then instead of having 2 variable, we will generalize the concept for n variable, right? So in this way, now first everyone look at this Euler-Lagrange theorem very carefully, because I'm going to take only 2 or 3 theorems. Remaining you have to do it, okay? Because it is simply as it is whatever we have seen for the first and second time, right? So what is a Euler-Lagrange theorem? Actually, we have one statement given to us. With the help of that, we are going to prove one result, and this result is very important for our SETNET examination as well as for theory examinations and all. So I have told you that this theorem we are going to see in a 6 parts, 6 form, right? Firstly, we'll see very easy concept with some function x, y dash with only 2 points. Then we'll generalize the concept. Then we'll impose the isometric condition. Then instead of having only 2 variable x and y, we will have x1, y1, x2, or instead of that we can take y1, y2, y3 up to yn. We can take n terms, and then we can generalize the concept, right? So everyone please see carefully and tell your friends also, those who haven't attended the lecture, see the lecture on YouTube, Euler-Lagrange's theorem. Okay, what is the statement? Find the Euler-Lagrange's differential equation satisfied by y of x. Find Euler-Lagrange's differential equation.
हेलो मैम, मेरी एक सहेली काजल गौरी ज्वाइन नहीं हो पा रही.
Okay. Tell her to join once again.
Yes, ma'am.
See, I am telling you once again that you should join it fastly whenever आपका घर पे आप ऐसे बैठो कि आपका क्लासरूम में बैठे हो, क्लासरूम में इधर उधर जाते हो क्या, राइट? एक लेक्चर होने के बाद दूसरा लिंक आते ही ज्वाइन करना चाहिए, अदरवाइज वी कांट एबल टू सी हाउ मेनी स्टूडेंट्स आर देयर because we are going to write it on a notepad. Whenever we are going to write on a notepad, we cannot see the Google Classroom, okay, or rather Google Meet. Okay, when we are going to have a notepad, at that time we cannot see the Google Meet. So everyone, I am requesting everyone once again that you should not do this. Okay, let us go for the proof. Find Euler-Lagrange's differential equation satisfied by y of x, satisfied by y of x, for which the value of integral, for which the value of integration, that is integration I is equal to x1 to x2 f of x y dash dx has extremum value, as extremum value. Okay, so what is given to us? Find the Euler-Lagrange's differential equation satisfied by y of x, for which the value of integral has extremum value, and what is given to us, where y of x, what is given to us, y of x is twice differentiable function. Okay, y of x is twice differentiable function satisfying the condition. We satisfy the condition. What are the conditions given to us? Y of x1 is y1 and y of x2 is y2. Okay, now tell me what is given to us and what is our aim to prove. Because this is very important point in our second chapter, Euler-Lagrange's theorem. As I told you, we are going to see this theorem 6 times in this whole chapter, but with some different conditions. सांगा काय दिलेलं आहे, काय प्रूव्ह करायचं आहे. Find Euler-Lagrange's differential equation satisfied by y of x, for which the value of integral has extremum value. And what is given to us? We have y of x is twice differentiable function, and y satisfy the condition y of x1 is y1, y of x2 is y2. सांगा कोणीतरी काय दिलेलं आहे आणि काय प्रूव्ह करायचं आहे.
We have to find Euler's Lagrange's differential equation for which y of x satisfies that equation, and we have the given condition that integral has extremum values, means we have maximum or minimum value, and y of x is given twice differentiable, and also value of y of x at x1 and x2 are also given, that is y1 and
Okay.
y2.
Okay, good. So what is our aim to find out? Euler-Lagrange's equation. Okay. But to find a Euler-Lagrange's equation, what is a condition? Euler-Lagrange's equation we have to find which is satisfied by y of x, for which what is the condition? The value of integration should be extremum. Okay. That means this value of integration should be either minimum or maximum for that particular Euler-Lagrange's equation. Okay, Euler-Lagrange's equation, first we have to find out in terms of y of x, and that equation we have to find out in such a way that the value of this integration should have a either minimum or maximum value. And next it is given that y is twice differentiable function, and value of y we have been provided at x1 and x2. Okay. In the next, we will see this same theorem many times. Here it is simply x, y dash is given. We can see for x, y1, y2, y2 up to yn. And here it is y1 dash, y2 dash up to yn dash. And instead of having twice differentiable function, we can see for 4 times differentiable function. Okay. Next, we can see for x, y dash, y double dash. Right. And instead of having x1, x2, simply we can have x1, x2 up to xn, right? So these are the things I am telling you repeatedly so that you can understand what are the different forms of the Euler-Lagrange's equation that we are going to see in this chapter, right? So let us start the proof. For that, let me have actually whatever the integration value is provided to us in the last lecture, in the starting of the variational principle, we have seen that let us consider the 2 points say P and Q, which say coordinates say x1, y1, and Q with the coordinates say x2, y2, correct? So we are having 2 points with the coordinates say x1, y1 and x2, y2. Okay, in the plane, right? Or rather, you can assume the real life situation also. You are standing on the ground. It may be any playground and all, right? And there are two friends, right? Say with some name is P or the position we can name it as P and Q. Okay, if they are standing with in the ground, so can anyone tell me that how many ways are there to join those 2 points or to join those two friends? Or rather, instead of considering friends, you can have the two poles. How many ways are there to join the 2 points? Thank you.
Infinite ways, ma'am.
Yes, infinitely many ways. Because we can join these 2 points in any infinitely many ways. Now you can come like this, you can come like this. There are so many infinitely many ways to reach to the point from P to Q or Q to P. Correct. But now, can anyone tell me that which path will be selected? There are infinitely many paths, ना? But out of all those infinitely many paths, कोणी पण कुठला path select करणार आहे?
Straight line.
Why straight line only?
The
Smallest least distance.
Least distance. No, so everyone will cover the distance. Will whatever the distance we are going to cover, he or she will select a minimum distance. No, minimum distance, or you can say the time required for that should be minimum. Okay. अगर आपको दो पॉइंट्स के बीच में ट्रैवल करना है तो आप ऑब्वियसली सपोज इफ यू वांट टू गो फ्रॉम somewhere say point here is suppose if you want to go to Pune, you cannot go directly to Mumbai and then come back to Pune. Correct? It is not a correct way. You can go directly Solapur to Pune, no? So it will require minimum time, right? So whatever the time required for us, if it is minimum, then we will select that path. Or in another way, if the time factor is not there, so we'll select the smallest path, right? The smallest path will be a straight line only, right? For any ground, or you can consider for a plane. In the plane, to join the any 2 points P and Q, we require a single straight line. That means this straight line will be sufficient to join these 2 points P and Q. Okay, so hence we can say the shortest distance or shortest path between point P and Q is a straight line. Okay, shorter distance in between the points P and Q can be a straight line. Now, what is our aim to find out Euler-Lagrange's equation, right? Actually, there are so many paths. Now, out of all those paths, let us name these all paths. It means there are whatever maybe the number of paths from P to Q. We are going to rename them as say y of x alpha is equals to y of x0 plus alpha times eta of x, right? And what is this y of x alpha is equal to y of x0 plus alpha times eta of x. Why you selected like this? Actually, just now you told me that there are so many infinitely many ways to reach from point P to Q, and out of which we are going to select the straight line. Why? Because this will be having a smallest distance, shortest distance between any two points in the plane is a straight line. This is also one theorem for our syllabus, that is shortest distance between any two points is a straight line, that we have to prove. So here also actually there are infinitely many ways. Out of infinitely many ways we have to select the smallest one, right? So all those infinitely many ways we have written in a one equation. Y of x alpha is equals to y of x0 plus alpha times eta of x, right? Actually we have to use a basic lemma in all these six theorem. Okay, out of all these six theorem, first we are going to see the first theorem today. So we are going to use a basic lemma for this. So that's why we are going to construct a function in terms of eta of x, so that I can use a basic lemma of calculus of variation that we have seen just now, right? That is value of integration g of x eta of x equal to 0, which means that g of x should be equal to 0. ते theorem कधी use करू शकतो किंवा lemma when we are going to use that lemma, when the given conditions are true, then we can use the lemma, no? Okay, so we can use the lemma if these are true. The condition fulfill झाले आपल्या युलर लॅग्रेंज थेरम मध्ये, तर आपण हे कंडिशन यूज करू शकतो ना, g of x equal to 0. So for that we are going to construct a function in such a way that we can use a basic lemma of calculus of variation. Okay, so we have one integration value is given to us. The value of integration is nothing but length of the path between the 2 points P and Q, which is some function of y of x we have considered. From point P to Q, we have the function f is a function of x, y, and y dash. So this is what the value of integration we have been provided. Okay, हे दिलेलं आहे ना. This is nothing but the distance between the point P and Q, or length of the path between the point P and Q, which is given by the value of the integration. Now, out of all those paths, whatever these paths we have been given, y of x alpha is equal to y of x0 plus alpha times eta of x. Okay. Now, these are so many paths. Why we can say this is so many paths? Because for different values of alpha, alpha is some constant number given to us. For different values of alpha, say alpha is 0, 1, 2, say 1 by 2, 6, 7, 8. So it may be any number. Alpha may be any real numbers. Okay. So if alpha is any real number, natural number, whatever it is, right? For different values of alpha, I am getting different curve, and that's why we can get a different equation. So this is what infinitely many equations of the curve which are traveling from point P to Q, or rather they are joining the 2 points P and Q. So these are nothing but infinitely many paths from points P and Q. So how we can say this is infinitely many paths from P and Q? For this value of alpha, okay, for different values of alpha we are getting different path. Is it okay with this?
Yes, ma'am.
Because I have constructed only one equation. Just now you told that there are infinitely many paths, and that infinitely many path I have written in the form of a equation. And this is a given equation to us, that we have, this equation we have derived in the last lecture, that the length of the path between P to Q can be given by the equation 1, right? So out of all those paths, let me rename this as, suppose I will have y of x0 will be equal to say y of x. I will say that this is a correct path. Okay, what is that correct path? We can say this correct path, all are correct path, but our aim is to find out the Euler-Lagrange's equation in such a way that value of this integration should be extremum. Okay, so for that we are selecting a shortest path. Okay, so that's why we can rename y of x0 is equal to y of x is a correct path. That means for alpha equal to 0, we can get the value of a curve, or the out of infinitely many curve we can have the single curve for which alpha equal to 0 means what? The curve coincide with the straight line. Okay. So we are going to select the path in such a way that integration I is extremum. Okay. So now we can have to find out the path which is satisfied by y of x. We label all the possible path. That means y of x alpha is equals to y of x0 plus alpha times eta of x. Let me write down this equation once again so that now we can differentiate this equation. Y of x alpha is equals to y of x0. So if alpha is 0, this will be a correct path. Alpha times eta of x. This is our equation number, say 2. Equation number 2. Now, for alpha equal to 0, what we get is a correct path. Okay. Now, we have to construct a function as eta of x is arbitrary continuous function in such a way that eta of x1 is equals to eta of x2 is equal to 0. Why we are assuming this? Because we have to use a basic lemma of calculus of variation. No? So we are constructing eta of x in such a way that eta of x1 is equals to eta of x2 is equal to 0. Now what this condition ensures that eta of x1 equal to 0, eta of x2 equal to 0 means what? All the paths starts from P to ends to Q, right? The condition eta of x1 equal to 0, eta of x2 equal to 0 ensures that all the path starts from P and ends to Q. Or rather, we can say they are joining the 2 points P and Q. That means these condition ensures that all the curves of the family of equation number this 2 passes through the 2 points P and Q. Okay. So this condition ensures that all the paths are passing through the 2 points P and Q. So now the value of integration I will write down. Integration is from P to Q f of x as it is y of x alpha, right? Because y of x alpha is a different path. Next is y dash of x alpha. Correct na? H equation hai na apni. X y y dash. So instead of having simply y, we have written it in the form of a infinitely many path. Y of x alpha, y dash of x alpha dx. Okay? Is it okay with this?
Yes, ma'am.
So now we'll find out the value of a integration. Here y dash is also given, so that's why we will differentiate equation number 2 and we'll find out the value of y dash of x alpha is equals to y dash of x0 plus alpha times eta dash of x. Okay. Simply we have found the derivative of equation number 2 because here in this case or in this integration we need a y dash. So to find out a y dash from equation 2 from infinitely many path equation, we have to just differentiate this with respect to x. This will be y dash which is equal to y dash of x0 plus alpha is a constant. We have keep it as it is. Eta is a function of x. We have to differentiate this eta, that will be eta dash of x. Barabar? Okay, let me now find out what is a condition given to us. The value of this integration should be extremum. Now, as we have discussed or the seminar was there for you people that value of integration is extremum only if the first derivative we are going to equate. Okay, next condition. What is the next condition? Value of second derivative f double dash either greater than 0 or less than 0. If it is greater than 0, it is minima. If it is less than 0, it is maxima. Okay. Apla condition ka hai? The value of integration should be extremum. Right? Let me have the find the Euler-Lagrange equation satisfied by pi of x for which the value of integration should have a extremum value. Simply writing y or y dash, we have written it in terms of y of x alpha, y dash of x alpha because we have the equation of y of x alpha is nothing but the infinitely many path. Right? We have to find out the Euler-Lagrange equation in such a way that the value of integration should be extremum. Okay. So now if I want to find out extremum, what I have to do is we have to differentiate this equation I with respect to alpha in such a way that which we have to equate to 0 so that we can find out the extremum. Barobar na?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, first derivative आपण equal to 0 करतो ना. So let us find out dou I by dou alpha and we have to keep it is equal to 0. So let me first find out dou I by dou alpha. Okay, so this value of integration will keep it as it is dou I by dou this integration say x1 to x2 instead of having p to q we can keep it from x1 to x2. So now we can have the chain rule barobar na. I is a function of f is a function of x y dash and y is a function of alpha. So now we have to use a chain rule. F is a function of x, y dash, y and y dash both are functions of x and alpha. So we have to use a chain rule whenever you are going to differentiate, right? So first I will write down dou f by dou x, correct? Dou f by dou x, right? Dou x by dou alpha, बरोबर ना? Plus next term dou f by dou y, next dou y by dou alpha. आपल्याला डिफरन्शिएट अल्फा नी करायचं ना डो आय बाय डो अल्फा प्लस नेक्स्ट टर्म डो एफ बाय डो वाय डॅश by dou alpha, right? And here the dx is as it is. Is it okay with this? We have to differentiate this equation I in such a way that the value of integration we have to find out so that it should be extremum, right? So we have to find out dou I by dou alpha. We have to equate it to 0. So first I have found the value of a dou I by dou alpha. So for while differentiating, first we have to use by chain rule f with respect to x, then x with respect to alpha, f with respect to y with respect to alpha, f with respect to y dash with respect to alpha. बरोबर?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So now, what is our equation given to us? Y of x alpha is equals to, we have the equation that is the equation of so many path, that is infinitely many path we have is y of x0 plus alpha times eta of x. After differentiating, what we got is y dash of x alpha is equal to y dash of x0 plus alpha times eta dash of x. Now, why I have written this equation? Because I have to find out the value of dou y by dou alpha, dou y dash by dou alpha. After finding these two values, I can use this. Function f माहित आहे का तुम्हाला? f हे दिलेलं नाहीये ना. f is simply we are provided that f is some function of x, y dash. F is not given to us, so that's why we cannot find out the value of dou f by dou y, dou f by dou y dash, and dou f by dou x. So we can find out the value dou y by dou alpha, dou y dash by dou alpha. Even we can find out the value of dou x by dou alpha. बरोबर?
Yes, ma'am.
ओके. फंक्शन दिलेलं असेल तर ते असंच ठेवणार ना. So dou I by dou alpha we can write it as it is. It is equals to x1 integration x1 to x2. Now we will keep dou f by dou x as it is because we don't know a function f. Now can you tell me what should be the value of x with respect to alpha? x हे अल्फा मध्ये दिलेलं आहे का? x हे फंक्शन ऑफ अल्फा असं दिलंय का कुठेतरी स्टार्टिंग
No,
पासून?
ma'am.
No. If it is not, so obviously what should be the derivative of x with respect to alpha?
0.
0. Here y is a function of alpha we have constructed. Y dash is also function of alpha. Now we will keep this dou f by dou alpha y as it is. Now we have to write down dou y by dou alpha. What is the derivative of y with respect to alpha? At that time we have to keep y as a constant, no? So what will be the derivative of y with respect to alpha? y इथे आहे, अल्फा पण आहे, डेरिव्हेटिव्ह काढा आणि सांगा. मी आधीच सांगितलं डेरिव्हेटिव्ह नाही शिकवणार मी. MSc मध्ये आलेत ना आपण, MSc चे स्टुडंट आहे. हाँ, how to differentiate y with respect to alpha? At that time, we have to keep y constant. Directly, you can give the answer, na? Okay. What will be dy by dx if your function y is x?
1.
इथे पण तसंच आहे ना. Instead of having simply x, it is some alpha of x ना. What will be the resultant if you are going to have the sum alpha of x? It will be simply alpha. So instead of having differentiation with respect to alpha, we are going to instead of having differentiation with respect to x, we will differentiate with respect to alpha. So at that time, we can keep y as a constant. So this will be 0 plus we'll keep alpha derivative of alpha f with respect to alpha, right? Sorry, y with respect to alpha. Kai inner derivative 1. Let me write down here dy by d alpha is equal to 0 plus derivative with respect to alpha, it is 1, and eta of x we have to keep it as it is because x and y we will treat as constant. बरोबर ना? If f is a function of x y dash and x will be independent variable and y will be dependent variable and alpha is we are going to differentiate with respect to alpha. So what is the value of this term dou y by dou alpha is eta of x plus f is not known to us, hence we can keep dou f by dou y dash as it is. Now you have to tell me what is the value of dou y dash by dou alpha directly.
Eta dash by
By
x.
Eta dash of x.
eta dash of x is a value of dou y dash by dou alpha. ओके. काय करायचं आहे y dash हे इक्वेशन दिलेलं आहे. You have to differentiate this equation with respect to alpha. After differentiating this equation with respect to alpha, this term is 0 plus derivative with respect to alpha is 1 and eta dash of x is a constant remaining. Okay. Now, what is the next step we have to do is actually we have to write down this uh, having the only two terms. Right? First term is 0. So integration x1 to x2 we have. Here we have the term is dou f by dou y eta of x plus dou f by dou y dash eta dash of x dx. Okay. Now, what is our aim to find out? It is first derivative, we have to keep it equal to 0. Then we can have the extremum. So now I can write down this value equal to 0 means what? Integration x1 to x2 dou f by dou y eta of x dx plus integration x1 to x2 f with respect to y dash eta dash of x dx is equal to 0. Okay. So now we have to use integration by parts if we want to find out the integration because f is known to you, not known to you, eta is also not known to you. So you can keep it this as it is. But we can evaluate this integration by using integration by parts to the second integration or second term. Okay. So let me keep this first term as it is. Integration x1 to x2 because we don't know what is f. अगर आपको एफ ही नहीं पता है ईटा भी नहीं पता है तो आप इंटीग्रेशन सॉल्व नहीं कर सकते हो ना. सो विल कीप इट एज इट इज प्लस राइट. सो फॉर द सेकेंड वन वी विल यूज अवर इंटीग्रेशन बाय पार्ट्स. आठवत है ना इंटीग्रेशन बाय पार्ट्स?
Yes, ma'am.
Dou f by dou y dash as it is into integration of eta dash of x. What will be the integration of eta dash of x with respect to x? It will be simply eta of x.
Eta of x.
Integration derivative will get cancelled. This will be d eta by dx. dx dx get cancel. असं नाही होणार. इंटिग्रेशन डेरिव्हेटिव्ह हे कॅन्सल होणार आणि रिझल्टंट टर्म काय येणार eta of x within the limits x1 to x2 minus the integration of what we have the next term is d by dx of first term. हे टर्म असंच ठेवलं होतं ना आपण. d by dx of dou f by dou y dash into eta of x as it is. बरोबर? dx is equal to 0. If you are not remembering, let me write down the rule. Integration uv is equals to u as it is. Integration of v dx minus the integration of d by dx
by
of u.
u integration v dx whole dx.
Good. Okay. So here the first term will keep as it is. Now what is the next term we have is actually it is dou f by dou y dash. Now we have to write down those values at the point say x1 to x2 na eta of x2 minus eta of x1 into the term dou f by dou y dash we have to keep as it is. Now can anyone tell me what are the values of eta of x1 and eta of x2 from our result?
0.
If eta of x1 and eta of x2 are 0, this value is 0. So first term as it is, second term 0. Now we'll write down this integration x1 to x2 dou f by dou y eta of x dx plus the second term is 0 with this negative sign. No, here it is negative sign minus the integration x1 to x2 we have to keep it as it is d by dx of dou f by dou y dash eta of x dx is equal to 0, right? Now eta of x dx I can take common. काय कॉमन येणार आहे इंटिग्रेशन कॉमन येणार आहे eta of x dx हे सगळे टर्म कॉमन येणार आहे ना. So let me take this common what I have to write down. Here integration x1 to x2 हे कॉमन आलं करेक्ट. अजून काय कॉमन आहे eta of x dx इक्वल टू 0 हे पण कॉमन आहे. काय राहिलं आता ब्रॅकेटमध्ये dou f by dou y minus d by dx of dou f by dou y dash. ओके हेच आपलं लॅग्रेंज इक्वेशन ऑफ मोशन आहे. आणि आता आपल्याला लेमा यूज करायचा ना using basic lemma of calculus of variation. What the lemma tells us? The value of integration say x1 to x2 g of x eta of x where g of x is any particular function in the interval. Okay, g of x a particular function hai, which is equal to 0 for the function eta of x1 is equal to eta of x2 is equal to 0. Then what is the theorem? G of x is equal to 0. जर असं असेल तर in value of this integration is if it is equal to 0 for the function eta of x1 eta of x2 is equal to 0 and g of x is a some particular function, then we can say that g of x is equal to 0. So here what is a g of x in this equation? Can anyone tell me from equation number 3 what is g of x?
Dou f by dou y minus d by dx of dou f by dou y dash.
Correct. So हे इक्वेशन तर ऑलरेडी सॅटिस्फाय झाले ना eta of x1 eta of x2 equal to 0. This condition ensures that all the points all the path pass from p to q or they are from p to q. Okay, all the paths are passing through the 2 points p and q, right? So now we can use the using basic lemma of calculus of radiation. We can write what we can write is the value of g of x is 0. Okay, what is g of x in this case is dou f by dou y minus d by dx of dou f by dou y dash is equal to 0. And this is what Euler-Lagrange's equation, which is satisfied on the condition the value of integration I is extreme. बरोबर? Is there
Yes,
any?
ma'am.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
If not, then we can end the lecture because you will have a next lecture on. Let me repeat in short what is given to us and what we have proved. Okay, what is our aim to find out Euler-Lagrange's equation? Okay, which is satisfied by y of x on the condition value of integration should be extreme. Okay, what is given to us? Value of integration is also given to us, and we have to find out extremum. By using these two conditions, we have to prove the result. Okay. What is given to us? This integration value. This integration value we can have. This is for points P and Q. There are 2 points P and Q in the plane. The shortest distance between point P and Q in the plane is a straight line. So out of all those paths from P to Q, there are infinitely many paths. Out of all those paths, we have selected a path which is a straight line, which is a minimum path. Okay. So now, out of this equation, we can write y of x alpha is equal to y of x0 plus alpha times eta of x. For different values of alpha, we can have a different curve. And if alpha is equal to 0, we coincide with our correct path. What do you mean by correct path is a shortest path. Okay. Now value of integration we have written as it is in terms of x and alpha. And then what is the condition? We have to find out extremum. To find out extremum, first we have to find out the first derivative. We have to keep equal to 0. If first derivative is equal to 0, then only we can find out the value of a extremum. Okay. So we first derivative equal to 0, and then we have used a integration rule, that is u into v rule. Then and after that we have taken some common term, and then we have used a basic lemma of calculus of derivation. With the help of that, we can have the value of g of x is 0. In this case, value of g of x is here, this bracket. This whole bracket is g of x, and hence we can have Euler's-Lagrange's equation. Okay. If you're not having a doubt, let me close the lecture. You can leave the meeting. Thank you.
मॅम ते मेंटर सिलेक्ट करताना ते प्रॉब्लेम येते त्याच्यामध्ये तुमचा ऑप्शनच येत नाहीये.
ठीक आहे, मी सांगितलं त्यांना ते कोऑर्डिनेटरला. ते म्हणतायत की तुम्ही डेस्कटॉप साईटवर जाऊन केलं तर होतंय. तुम्ही मोबाईलला पण
पीसी
ना
वरती
3
पण
डॉट्स.
बघितलं.
नाही
पीसी वर
पीसी वर बघितलं का तुम्ही?
हो, पीसी वरती पण लिंक ओपन केली होती, त्यामध्ये पण ऑप्शन नाही दाखवलं.
Actually, I also don't know what is a problem, because whenever I come to physical things, then only I can understand now what is actual problem. Because in my login, the name of 66 students is showing. Okay, that means that 66 student have selected me as a mentor, right? So what is a problem for your case? I don't know actually, right? So that's why keep it as it is. If you have done registration, I hope you got the mail ना. मेल आला असेल ना त्यांचा
हो मॅम,
रजिस्टर.
मेल आलाय.
होय.
हा,
हो आलाय मॅम.
ओके गुड.
फक्त रजिस्ट्रेशन केलेलं त्याचाच मेल आहे.
रजिस्ट्रेशन मेल येते, पण मेंटरच्या सिलेक्शनला तुम्ही मोबाईलवर पण करत असेल ना, त्याला डेस्कटॉप साईटवर घेऊन जायचं, कारण की तिथे 3 डॉट्स असतात ना, व्ह्यू इन अ डेस्कटॉप साईट. सो यू कॅन सिलेक्ट दॅट मेंटर.
मॅम मी दोन्ही ट्राय केले, पण दोन्ही मध्ये पण नाही दिसलं ते.
Then try it once again or leave it as it is. If
Okay.
the same problems come, because I have communicated with that coordinator of SWAYAM. He tells us that if you go for desktop site, then it will be appearing the name of all the mentor. If not possible, leave it as it is, because I have the data of some students.
ओके मॅम.
झालं तर किंवा का मॅडम तसंच राहू दे का?
हा, झालं तर करा, नाहीतर असंच राहू द्या.
ओके मॅम.